What I'm calling out here in this video is husband abuse. Now, society enables it. And this creature here, I won't call her a woman, Kate Gosselin. She was in that old show, John and Kate Plus 8. She abused her children and her husband. Now, her children abuse, that had to be kept out of sight because society might intervene. But the husband abuse, that was there for all of us to see. And society just shook its head, but they weren't going to intervene for him. Right? Now, the other thing I want to point out is that her husband abuse is really just an version of what men go through anyway, to be honest. But anyway, we'll get to the proof that she was a child abuser. This is one of her daughters.
TV's Dark Side of the 2000s in July 2023, Hannah Gosselin made waves for her revelations on her brother Colin's childhood abuse. Hannah claims that Colin spent his childhood apart from his siblings on purpose. According to her, he was frequently excluded from family gatherings and kept apart from the rest of the group.
Now, why do you think that is? He fought back. That's why. The other kids caved, but he put up a stink. He put up some resistance. And because this woman is a narcissist, that can't be abided. Now, I also really blame John with this because even though he's not an abusive parent, he enabled it. He's the father. He could have stepped in at any time and put this woman down, but he didn't because he represents what husbands actually are. Husbands, in order to get the wife, he has to put himself in a subservient role. That's all men. And so he's looking at his kids and saying, do I want the kids or do I want the wife? Well, I want the wife. The wife comes first. He's representative of very male behavior. I'm sorry to say this, all you married guys, but it's true.
Hannah had previously stated he would not get to come and play outside with us in one episode. He would eat dinner at different times than us. This information was disturbing to both the Gosselin family's supporters and detractors, who had long suspected that there was something wrong at home given little Colin's lack of public appearances.
Really? Or how about his mother's wicked behavior? How about that?
Further, Hannah said that Colin's mother, Kate Gosselin, had kept him away in a containment room for reasons that were never explained. The solitary confinement and severe punishment he was supposedly subjected to became
solitary confinement. Yeah, that's not abuse, is it?
Emblematic of this chamber. Reports indicate that Kate defended her choice by saying that Colin's conduct was hard to handle and that she wanted to keep the other kids safe by separating him.
You see, this is just an exaggeration of what women do anyway, by the way. I just want to keep myself safe. I'm afraid. I don't feel safe. That's what they do when they're screwing someone over. They play the victim. And of course, this woman is such a psychopath. She doesn't have an inkling of what this looks like to someone who is human being outside of her.
On the other hand, Hannah remembers things quite differently, showing that Colin was the only one and treated badly, which worried his siblings much. As far as Hannah and her siblings were concerned, their already regimented upbringing was further complicated by the lack of explanation for why Colin was kept aside from them.
Now, I don't blame the kids at all. They're only little. They don't know what normalcy is. Plus, kids are at the mercy of their parents. If their parents are abusive, there's nothing they can do about it. And again, John back there, he was abused by this woman right to our faces. The only thing I have against him is that he allowed his children to get abused. He was there.
When Colin himself intervened with further accusations of assault, the situation became even worse. He said that as a kind of punishment, Kate bound him in the basement and secured him with zip ties. These claims, together with Hannah's testimony, cast doubt on the Gosselins' disciplinary practices, particularly
Wow, cast doubt. Tying kid up and putting him in the closet. I'm kind of doubtful of that kind of parenting skill.
in regard to Colin. Despite Kate's denials, the evidence points to the claims made by Hannah and Colin, who allegedly conspired to testify against Kate and then choose to live with their father, John.
Exactly. They had to jump to dad because even though dad's an enabler, he's not an abuser himself. So they knew once they went together with dad, they could finally tell the truth. This reminds me so much of Hansel and Gretel, the fairy tale. Have you ever heard of Hansel and Gretel? There was truth to that fairy tale. The mother was afraid that they would starve, so she wanted to kick the children out and let them die in the woods so she could live. And dad wanted to have the kids around and suffer it out. But dad enabled it in that fairy tale. You guys don't realize that, do you? Right? In any event, here's Hansel and Gretel here. Only there's 8 of them. Okay, now we'll get into Cheriton East because she does a whole episode of this and she'll expose the husband abuse.
Now, that show was on 18 years ago. They filmed over 100 episodes between the years 2007 and 2008. And over the course of that filming, John and Kate ended up getting a divorce. They announced their divorce to the public, but it actually had been a reality for about 6 months. In that time when they were divorced, John had gone out and he was pretty much doing his own thing. Now, the narrative soon became about John that he was this irresponsible dad. He never was able to handle the 8 kids they had.
Of course, this happens. This is where deadbeat dads come from. This woman chased this man away. And then when the man's forced out, society doesn't blame her, they blame him. He's a deadbeat dad. And the mainstream media flies with this, not because they're ignorant, it's because they are anti-male and therefore anti-father.
John and Kate had had twins, and then they went on to have sextuplets. So that's 8 kids overall. The show was so chaotic. And what we were sort of spoon-fed was this idea that John was pretty much Kate's 9th child. And that John was a really difficult person to have around, that she was always hustling, and he just kind of never seemed like he was on the uptake. He just always was kind of like one more straggling Gosselin.
Exactly. Of course. Right. And this is how women work it, by the way. Again, this scumbag here, where is she? She's a very extreme version of what I see in married couples anyway. The woman cares about household chores to basically dominate the man. So you're not doing enough. But anyway, TMZ was notable for spitting on this guy, right? They loved going after him.
Remember John and Kate plus 8 star John Gosselin, who left the glamorous world of reality TV behind to become
a cook at TGI Fridays.
Yep, move over 8 kids. Daddy's got 8 potato skins to take care of now.
See, move over 8 kids. So they're trying to say after this psychopath, this narcissist booted him out of the family unit. She has all the power. These scumbags jumped on the boat of saying this guy was just a useless bum. He's a deadbeat dad. These TMZ cretins, they disgust me. So anyway, let's get on with this.
That she had to deal with. When they broke up, the narrative remained that this irresponsible doofus in his Ed Hardy gear was just wandering across America, drinking it up and making out with babes. I mean, he just seemed like such a dumb fool. And
well, he is a dumb fool because He got married to this woman. He didn't realize she was a narcissist. Well, the thing is, most guys don't. I'll tell you why, guys. Because a man submits himself entirely to get a woman into his life. You know, the dynamics between the genders is the woman is the narcissist. So guy usually can't tell just how bad she is until they're a few years into the marriage.
The media did a great job of making it feel that way, and quite frankly, his decisions were not helping play into a narrative of a responsible adult. Kate had all the kids, she had full custody of them, and after a bit, she rebranded herself. She was on Dancing with the Stars, and then she got another reality show entitled Kate Plus 8, where here we have the single mom dealing with all the kids.
Yeah, so this one I'm discussing. Now, this guy did fight with legal battles. Like if you look at this, the first one I showed you here, what they talk about. She lost her fortune to legal battles with ex-John. So he did put up a stink. And by the way, this woman, this again, maybe I shouldn't call her a woman. I wouldn't even consider her a human being. This woman, she could have had all this money tied up. She could have retired, but she wanted to be the boss. She's the one who says, no, I'm getting everything. So she wasted all her money fighting with this guy. And since there were legal battles, obviously John did care about the kids, at least somewhat. Not enough that he was going to protect his boy from this abusive lowlife, but he cared somewhat.
Kate had full custody of the kids, and John seemed like this bumbling fool who didn't know where his kids were or what was going on with them.
So all you guys who called guys deadbeat dads, the woman got the full custody. Who gave it to him? The legal system, right? So why do we blame fathers and say you're deadbeats?
In the course of Kate's parenting, she was fed up with this one child named Colin. Colin just had gotten on her nerves for years. And
yeah, he fought back. You know why? Because not every kid could withstand the continual regimented stress. This is abuse. The other kids were able to keep up. He couldn't.
she decided that he was special needs and beyond her help. So she had institutionalized him in a facility and pretty much washed her hands of Colin.
Hey, hear that, guys? All you guys paying child support? This woman isn't forced to take care of her children. She just booted him away. It's someone else's problem. So why are wives, mothers, allowed to just let their children be someone else's problem? But the dad, he has to pay mommy.
Colin, in a desperate attempt to be free from the special needs institution, because if you've watched him in interviews, and we're going to play some clips, he doesn't seem special needs to me. But she said he was special needs. She didn't know how to handle him. She put him in a facility. He ends up writing to his judge on, please help me, please save me, please get me out of here. So he didn't even know Colin was in the institution, goes, picks him up, and now
He didn't even know. How come he didn't know? Because the children belong to the woman. When she boots the man out, he doesn't even get to see his children. Now, this wasn't 100% his choice. It may not have been his choice at all. So legal system, which is anti-male, made it so.
he had custody of Colin. Hannah, one of the other sextuplets, is also now in her father's custody, and she chose to live with him. The reason this family is back in the news is that while their show, Kate Plus 8, went off the air after a couple of seasons because without the drama of John, it just wasn't an interesting show. Like, nobody cared about this mom taking care of her kids. Like, that's the story of everyone's life. She then was forced to go back to work after a long time.
Yeah, they loved the abuse that John suffered from this woman. That's what people tuned in for.
Well, she made a ton of money. It's reportedly $250,000 an episode. She says all that money had to go to legal fees because John wouldn't quit harassing her. And then, of course, these kids do have to go to college. So after playing,
Harassing her, right. See how the you gotta see the words they use. In other words, she was fighting her evil. The thing is, this woman could have come to terms with him. Said, look, I'll split the money with you. You can see the kids 50% of the time, have them around you, blah, blah, blah. No, these kids belong to me. They're not people. They're objects that belong to me. I'm in charge. I'm willing to lose all the money just to say I'm in charge. The only thing women want more than money is power. They'll throw away money to maintain power.
for everybody's college and paying for the harassment of her husband, now she has to go back to work. And she says that if it weren't for him, she could be retiring right now. But no, she's got to go work 12-hour shifts as a pediatric in-home care nurse.
Now, that's important too, guys. In other words, society, even though they should find out this woman's an abuser of her own children, will say, yeah, we'll let you look after other people. Right? They'd use an excuse of the man being abusive to keep him out of these kind of, employments. But they don't care about other people. Society does not care about children. Because here they are letting this woman take care of other people.
We're going to go way back and talk about the show. By the end of this, you're going to be wondering what is wrong with the people who hired this lady to watch their chronically ill child. To compound the reason that they are back in the news, Kate, is on TikTok. She's been on TikTok for a while doing things like making at-home dog biscuits and like lotions and stuff. Unloading the dishwasher while she talks to you. A very like drama-free kind of TikTok.
In my German Shepherd dog.
Drama-free. That's what the husband is for. All you married bums. That's what you're for. You're for drama, that you're for entertainment of the wife. Because notice when the man isn't around, all the drama disappears, right?
Mom era. Is that how they say it? You know what I mean.
But the thing is that there's no one else in her videos with her. She becomes overwhelmed with humanity next to her, which always made it seem wild to me that she was a nurse. This is a person who was so type A, such a neat freak.
No, she wasn't a neat freak or type A. She's a narcissist. I bet if you were able to film Kate when she was by herself, she didn't know you were filming, she'd be a lazy bum. I bet she would be messy. All this neat freak business is to keep other people on their toes. I want you to understand that.
Such a uptight human being. Like, there's nobody worse to have had.
Not uptight, hostile. She's hostile to other people. Cheer. You have to understand where this woman is coming from.
8 kids. I can't even understand how in the world John managed as long as he did with this woman. An absolute psycho. And you would never know it.
Thank you. She's a psycho. She's not type A. She's not a neat freak cheer. She's a psycho.
From her current TikTok. Now, I wouldn't say that this is indicative of her having matured and changed over the years. There just isn't anybody else in the videos with her. So who's she going to argue with? She's just doing things like cleaning and making things, without anybody interfering. And that's what she hates. She doesn't like any interference in her life at all. No one can question her. No one can be in her space, and no one can be making a mess. Well,
Well, it's not messing doing anything. No one can be enjoying themselves. That's where you got it wrong, Cheer. It's not that they're making a mess, they're enjoying some. When her kids laugh and cheer, it was probably like nails on the chalkboard to her. Because she's an evil person. Other people's joy bring her misery.
Other than that, she's good. So her TikTok would appear like she's just this mellowed out person. Meanwhile, at the same time, John also has decided to have a TikTok. Now, he's been on TikTok for a while, but hasn't been making videos. Since Kate's been making a lot more videos, and since she's announced the fact that she had to go back to work because, all of her money is gone, John's decided that he's going to be doing TikTok lives like on the reg. And he appears to be crashing out hardcore. He gets on there and it'll just be people like making comments, and he's not really engaging. He's just like saying random things. But he does love, if he does have any topic, to rag on his ex-wife. He's
Okay, so is he crashing out or is he just exposing her for the evil witch she was? Right? There's a huge difference.
currently engaged and about to be married. I mean, like within the month. And just recently, this month, he's up on those lives. Apparently, he's on the TikTok live every day. And he is just obsessed with hating his ex-wife. This is weirdo behavior.
No, it isn't weirdo. Lady, this is therapy for him. You think he's the very first guy who got on TikTok or YouTube or any platform and griped? What do you think the black pill is all about?
For sure.
This isn't weird behavior. This is behavior that people go through.
And everyone's like, well, John's not changed. This is that same guy who couldn't wait to get rid of his kids, go party, and go live his life. And now look at the way he's acting on TikTok. Kate really was the stable one. And if you haven't gone and seen that show in a while, you would be...
Yeah, because she was the abuser, right? Other people don't exist to this woman. She's a narcissist. When you leave the room, it's like you never existed. No one did anything to Kate. Her children never touched her. Her husband didn't touch her. They all gave in to her. That's why she has nothing bad to say about them. They don't exist to her.
Forgiven for believing that this whole kind of narrative that sort of was spun, and that I really feel like people believed that she was stable and he was a nightmare. She had her shit together. He was a bumbling fool. She wanted the best for her kids. He couldn't stand the kids. You would be forgiven to believe that if you're looking
No, you wouldn't be forgiven. Because she's going to show clips of how abusive this woman is. And I'll jump ahead and you'll see that anyone who watched the show would not see that he's unstable and she's stable. She was a complete psychopath. She's a sadist. Okay? Let's see some.
Eating for him. And she refuses to take responsibility for it. Says she was stressed out and had to, and that he wasn't doing his job. And had he, she wouldn't have to.
She was purchasing something at the checkout counter, I guess, for the girls, and the older girls, and I had the girls. So she told me to stay.
What's that?
So I found this big bin
Notice he doesn't make any decisions. She makes all the decisions. Right?
of toys, and I'm playing with Leah and showing her all these different animals. And then...
Hello, I need your help.
Go to 11.
No, I can't. Would
Why?
you come here? Because you need to stop playing toys and come help. You stand here.
He's already looking after a couple of the children. What it is, he was looking like he was having a good time. That's what this is about. It's not just control. It's sadism.
I have to go ahead. Playing with toys instead of doing his
And
job.
everyone looked, and I got embarrassed.
I was stressed.
And he's taking it like a little bitch. This guy's an abused dog. Right?
I didn't
I'm
want
playing
them
with
to
the
see.
big...
Sorry, guys. John is just an extreme version of what you married losers are. If I want to get married to a woman, I'd have to submit. There'd be, if I was lucky, there'd be a lesser version of this, but this is what it'd be.
That's fine. I'm playing with the babies, and then I hear...
Hello! We're over here.
You told me to stay here.
Come. Okay, you need to pay attention.
No.
You told me to stay here. There's no winning. It's a Kafka trap. Because this woman isn't about children or husbands or anything. She's not even about this TV show. She's about dominance and sadism.
Just stop yelling. Everyone looks at me again, like, here's the whipping boy. So I get.
You've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. The way she talks about men in general, she hates him, for sure. She can't stand him. But she also really just doesn't like men at all anyway. She thinks that men are lazy, stupid, unhelpful, and I don't even know why she's with him.
No. She doesn't think those things. She just says those things. That's what hate is, Cheer.
If she hates men so much, I can't even imagine she would let one in her house.
Boys, I'm telling you, boys
They're
are just
pickers.
dirty. They're just dirty. The girls are definitely more verbal. Girls have feelings and emotions, and boys are just...
Yeah, see. Girls have feelings and emotions. Boys don't. They're just animals. No, what do I say over and over again? Right? The gender relations between men and women it's basically the same relationships that black men have with the KKK. The KKK sees black men as subhumans and Hispanic men and just minority race men, period. They don't have souls or emotions. They're just little animals that you have to tolerate. Now, this is broadcasted for everyone to see. So everyone saw her not only talking shit about her husband, but her own little boys. No intervention, right? Because society doesn't give a shit about the children. Society enables this abuse. They said this is a horrid subhuman that's dragging her knuckles and baring her teeth. She's female. It doesn't matter.
like, oh, whatever. They don't listen. They don't compute as well. Well, you know. And
yeah, he takes it like a little bitch. This is why I dislike John. Because he takes it like a little bitch. He did leave eventually. She had to drive him out. All you married guys, you losers that are still married, you just take this by little bits, right? And bounce back. But she was so bad for so long, even he couldn't withstand it. But here he is listening to her abuse his own sons, and he doesn't even have the humanity to defend them verbally. But I guess that's not surprising when he let her cage his little boy and tie him up, throw him in the closet.
But then to compound the issues of her disdain for him and her disdain for men, she also really doesn't like anything that could be germy at all. I can't understand somebody who is so freaked out about mess, freaked out about germs,
Well, girls are equally as messy as boys, so this isn't about being germs or messy. Sorry, Cheer, you're just making up bullshit. Like I said, if she's by herself, she might mess up her own apartment. Just that no one gets to see that. Because all this neat freaky horseshit is just used as a bludgeon against the people in her vicinity, her family. Though she's incapable of seeing them as family.
Out about anything relating to kids' inability to keep themselves tidy. She is so offended by the concept of having to clean up after the kids in any way.
I love the messiness of kids. You know why? Because when they reach adulthood or even their teenage years, they got to force themselves to be clean, and they have to deal with all the cleaning up of their apartments and that. Let them be messy. Let there be mess. Just clean it up when they go to bed.
never liked the mess.
Then
Put
get him.
that down, and you can continue in a minute. I'll just roll it towards you, and you can have your spot. Just sit it down. Really, it really is necessary here. Okay, no.
He was already working, right? He was already working. He wasn't a lazy guy. But it doesn't matter what he does. It's never going to be good enough. This is an abused man. And again, this is a whole season. Like the kid's abuse had to be hidden. His is out there for all of us to see. All of us.
She is so offended at the concept of the kids getting their clothes dirty and it putting her out in any way. Like, she doesn't like to be put out about messes that kids make, but also she's really grossed out by kids and germs and dirty hands and snotty noses.
She doesn't like kids. She doesn't like people. She's a troglodyte.
This is very out of character for us. We would not normally be in the kitchen making messes at this age, but it's all right. It's fun.
You're a party pooper. Just enjoy it.
They're tiny. Look at the size of these kids. She's the kind of woman who would beat a toddler for messing their pants. All right, we'll jump ahead because, I can't really stand these scumbags. Let's get into it.
At one point, she has ragged him about his weight the entire show.
I'm a little worried about your workout situation if you're shoving all baked goods in your mouth.
Now, we all know what would happen, what people would say if a husband was ragging on a woman's weight in public television. They would tear him apart, right? Of course, he takes it like a little bitch.
Issue. Did you miss it?
Yeah. My point being is,
Oh my.
all she does is make fun of my weight. So now I'm doing something about it.
I could care less. It's past the weight. We don't live in terms of seasons.
Sorry.
I could care less what they call us. We don't live in terms of seasons. You could say the last 3 years. That would be
Yes,
better.
the last.
Don't use seasons
9
in
years.
terms of time for me anymore, because you lose right there.
Yep. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Sorry to offend.
What a little bitch. What a little bitch. Know how he got this way, guys? Because when you become the husband, you are the servant. Now, you guys might have a far lesser version of Kate. Maybe your wife isn't as dominating. And so you think that you aren't the servant boy. But you are.
I'm sure you're sorry.
And she's
Your
loving
life-
him. You see, when this guy is looking humiliated on TV, that's when she smiles. She's a narcissist. She's not capable of feeling joy for other people's joy. Other people's joy brings her envy and hatred. She can only smile when someone else is suffering. These versions of the devil, the storybook devil, they're real. They're based on actual people. She is one.
Can be delineated by seasons because that is what you're doing. Like, why are you denying reality to turn it off of you that you just made fun of your husband for his weight on camera?
Well, why are you asking why? Of course, he didn't do anything wrong. They are living their lives by seasons, but it doesn't matter what he said. Didn't matter. She's attacking him no matter what, because the point is to attack him and harm him. So, like, Sheer Denise, you're a housewife, aren't you? So you've got a man who's working for you. He's a typical TradCon workhorse. So you get to be on screen and talk to your friends. He's out working. So you and he are a lighter version of John and Kate. Don't kid yourself.
And for him noticing and calling you out and saying it, you've been making fun of me for the last 3 seasons. So I'm sure you'll make fun of me for the 4th. You don't want him to have picked up on the fact that you're so hateful to him. You're trying to make a lot of noise so the audience will not hear the fact that he's noticed you've been mean to him this whole time, as though we don't notice.
Okay, so this is the other thing about him being on TikTok and spurging out there. Well, not spurging out. Actually, he's just getting therapy. He's actually giving voice to what he went through. Here he is doing it in national television, and nobody's hearing him. Society endorses what he's going through. So he knows people don't give a shit.
Although she would be forgiven for thinking so because no one seemed to notice how mean she was. Everyone's like,
yeah, nobody. Exactly. Thank you, Cheer. Nobody knows because people don't give a shit about the suffering of men. So it's not so much that people don't notice. It's just that it's invisible to them because they don't care.
she's so annoying. No, she's cruel. She's hateful. She's ugly. The dynamic.
Thank you. She's cruel. She's hateful. She's ugly. Thank you for saying this, Cheer. So you don't need to be surprised about this. And please stop calling her a neat freak or type A.
Between them on the couch when they would have their interviews is always really hostile. I mean, everyone remembers this scene where she makes fun of his breathing.
I'm sorry, can you stop breathing so loud, honey? He's like...
What she's really saying is, can you stop breathing? I want you to die. That's what she's saying. That's what this is about. Now, I'm going to skip ahead because here you're going to see more child abuse because she has her kids. And notice her kids can never, they're very quiet. You know why? Because the Kafka traps for them too. Right?
Awkward. This could not be more cringe. Watch as she does not allow the girls to express themselves. And when they're not doing it her way, she's flustered, she's annoyed, she's angry. And I'm always confused about her inability to remember the camera's right there.
You're confused. I'm not, because it's simple. She's a narcissist. She's not really human. That's why.
That's the camera right there. Do you think that the camera's just going to edit out your bad behavior, or are you not embarrassed by it?
Maddie, what would you want to say about how you and your sister and your family are doing?
Now, look at the sad look of this girl on the face. She is an unhappy camper. She's scared of this witch right here, this blonde-haired witch.
Maddie, your words.
Oh, it's hard. It's a hard question.
Yeah, your words. She knows it's Kafka trap. She knows there's nothing she could say that'll be the right thing. And look how scared her sister is. You two dummies should ran to daddy like your brother and sister.
Oh.
What about you, Kara?
She's looking at her mother.
This is their chance to talk. This is.
What about you, Karen? Look at her mother. She's like scared to death. Mom, please rescue me. Don't kill me. Don't kill me over this.
The most wordless I've heard them all morning.
Yeah.
I don't want to speak for them, but Maddie, go ahead.
Yes, you do want to speak for them. These girls are not human beings too. They're hand puppets.
Sort of the things that you said in the magazine, that years later, they're good, they're fine. Go for it, Mad. It's your chance.
No, you just said it.
Oh, I said it.
She doesn't seem to have a problem with you just watching her freak out and flip out. She seems to think this is the...
Yeah, because she's a narcissist. The only thing that she sees real is consequences. She's afraid of consequences. That's why she kept her child abuse to a minimum in front of people. A narcissist doesn't believe anything they do is wrong. They do it, it's right. Whether it's, cleaning the fridge out or stabbing a puppy to death. They do it, it's good. That's all cheer. Now, I really can only withstand so much of this. So, again, back to the original point. This is husband abuse for us all to see. Society does not intervene, and it's invisible to them. Some people might turn around and say, gee, why'd he take it like that? But no one's going to move for this guy. And when he was booted out by this subhuman, Of course, everyone blamed him too. Called him a deadbeat dad. He was just another grown kid who didn't help his evil witch, you know, with the children. So, all you husbands, I mean, this is a very extreme version of what you are, but this is what you are. Again, if I wanted a woman in my life, I'd have to submit. Pure and simple. He just happened to submit to a very abusive woman. But that's why he took it forever to divorce her. She had to drive him away. Think about it. He put his dick in this woman and produced babies with her. He was with her for several years. So he put up with all this abuse. But again, I'm ending off saying, dude, John, you're a scumbag because you let this woman abuse your child. You were never there for them. You were there for her. And the reason why you left her is because he chased you away. But if she decided just to send her on the kids with her abuse, you would just be fine with it and you would enable it. Anyway, these two are real low lives.